Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Floor Plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to just show you guys a few additional updates that I've made to the deck boards part of the floor plugin. So let's just jump right into this and get a grid put down, and then we're going to draw a floor too. So we'll go ahead with the floor tool, and I think I've pretty much set this to sawn lumber already. And I've turned on the deck boards. So let's just go ahead with those default settings. I'm going to draw this deck with a little 45-degree angle there just to show you guys how that looks. So we'll go ahead and draw that deck. Okay, so here's your typical deck. So immediately after making tutorial number 12, which is the trim and wrap tutorial, I noticed that if I had set up an overhang, let's go ahead and do that. All right, here, let's bring that over there, out of our way. So yeah, let's go ahead and just, apply an overhang to this deck here. So, this is all fine and dandy, but the problem is, what happens if you're butted up against the side of a house, correct? We obviously don't want the overhang maybe on this side and maybe on this side, depending on where we're putting our house. But so what I've done is I've added this additional parameter here called remove overhang. And what you can see is that you can, if you mouse over that little help, you can enter the side numbers that you want to remove the overhang from. And to determine where those sides are, it actually follows the rim board numbering. So you can just click into the model here real quick. And if you, let's go bring up our entity info, you'll notice that this is rim joist 1. This is rim joist 2. Just by clicking on them, you can get an idea 3, 4, and 5. So basically what it does, it follows the, when you first lay out this floor, if you're clicking the points, it will lay out the points based on where you started. But if you're using a face, of course that's not the case. You'll have to probably jump in here and figure out which side you want to turn those overhangs off on. So anyways, let's go ahead and turn off the overhang for sides 4 and 5. So you just type in 4, 5, separate those with commas. No need to put spaces in there, and we'll go ahead and update that. All right, now you'll notice here immediately that we have overhang on every other side, but we don't have overhangs on side 4 and side 5. All right, so that gets you the ability now to set this up so that you can basically put your floors or your decks, up against your houses. And if you want, you can, and by the way, there is no order to this. Let's just, if I want to do 5, 4 or 4, 5, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to change this to 4 here. Show you guys. And so now it's just got the overhang removed on this one side. All right. So now it got a little more complicated, of course, once we started adding in trim bands. And I'm going to go ahead and add in this trim band here. So we'll go ahead and add that in. Okay. And I'm going to actually turn the color of that trim band to pressure treated lumber just so we can visualize it a little better here. Okay, so now we can see we got a trim band. And as you can see, the same thing applies here. Oh, well, actually, wait, we haven't got an overhang set up. So two things here with this overhang. The board overhang and the trim overhang are independent of each other. And so if you're using trim, I suggest just, you don't have to mess with the overhang for the boards really, but really this trim overhang will set this up. So let's go ahead and change that to 2 now. Okay, so now we can see we've got a trim overhang, and again, they're independent of each other. And we've just set this up on number 4. So as you can see, it is just flush here on number 4, on the side number 4. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got ourselves a trim band wrapping around there. We've left the trim band here on the house side. And of course, if you want, you can actually remove that. So if you click 4 here, you'll actually remove the trim band and remove the overhang as well. Now, one thing to be aware of is if you click, do not remove the overhang, but you remove this trim on this side, it will essentially do the same thing. So if we remove that and we hit update again, you'll notice that it didn't change. So it will essentially, if you remove the trim on any given side, it will also remove any overhang and make it flush to the joist or the rim joist. So just something to be aware of. Let's see now. The other thing I wanted to show you guys with regards to this. So yeah, if you want to remove the rim joist, you can, or not the rim joist, the trim band, or you can leave the trim band. But if you do leave the trim band, then you want to remove that overhang. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to that. All right, and then one last thing I added also is you'll notice here now that we have a trim ply variable. So we can go ahead and set that to 2. And actually what that does is does a double band. So it wraps 2 bands instead of 1. And you can set this up with lapping or miter, however you want to do that. Some people like the miter look versus the other one. But see, as you can tell, we've got it now where you've got a custom overhang here where it's taken it off. And I am going to also remove the overhang on number 5 just to show you guys how that looks. So we'll go ahead and do that. And notice it shifted there a little bit, and we've got it flush on this side as well. All right. And then last but not least, if we go ahead and remove 4 and 5 on the trim band, see, we can now just have it like that. Anyways, lots of permutations here, lots of change or variations that you can come up with. One thing to note though, and I'm still not entirely sure, how to deal with this is, if you start mixing and matching, kind of remove overhang and remove trim, and like let's say you put 1, 2, and here you put 4, 5, you may get some interesting results. I'm not going to really dive into that too much, but yeah, you kind of want to keep your, if you're going to be doing specific sides for removing the overhang, then you also want to correspondingly use those same sides when you're removing the trim as well. Or not, just depending on what you want to do. So we'll put that trim back, and as you can see, it goes back. And then if we remove, the overhang, or get rid of those 2 in there as well. So now we're back to having full overhang all the way around. So the nice thing is yeah, you can put in any side you want, and you can remove that overhang and get that flush up against the rim joist, and so you can put this deck up against your building. We have the double trim band as well. And here we call it a ply, but it's really just a double trim band option. And I think I've addressed all of the issues with regards to, there was an issue earlier with the trim corners not working out quite right with these trim bands, but I think I've addressed all those now. So now if you change this up and reverse lap or the regular lap, that should all properly draw. So anyways, if you guys have any questions on this, yeah, the menu has gotten a little grown quite a bit now, expanded quite a bit. So if you were to turn on our deck wrap as well, I mean, it's quite large, but I mean, it really comes down to the flexibility, and without all these parameters, it's really hard to give you guys the flexibility that you need to draw everything you need. So yeah, trying to keep things simple, but at the same time, trying to make it as, as general as possible. So anyways, we appreciate you guys' comments and feedback, and we will talk to you guys later.